So if you're thinking about buying a home here in Nashville, Tennessee, I've got a place that you might be interested in. Out here in Hendersonville, a suburb of Tennessee, I found a home that is pretty nice and it looks like something you might be interested in. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, but room for upgrade and also adding square feet. There's already a roof line there, a floor, and things like that. All you have to do is finish it out. Why don't we take a look at this house? I also want to discuss things you need to do to make sure you're making the right decisions in purchasing a home, like buying a home and inspections. But a lot of times the inspectors miss items on these things. So what you got to know is what questions to ask, like how old is the roof, who did the roof, is there any warranties, will the seller supply or purchase a warranty with this house, will they help you with closing costs, that kind of thing. So and well, this house I want to show you, I really want to look at there's some upgrades that we are going to talk about, but things like the air conditioner. You know, when you get an inspection, sometimes inspectors don't really inspect the AC unit. You're going to want to bring in someone with some AC knowledge or whatever. So you got to keep that in mind.
All right, so what I want to show you is this area here. Where this house is that we're going to be talking about is surrounded by Old Hickory Lake pretty much, and you can see like the center there. It's got a little lagoon, I guess you could call that. I don't know what you call that. But it is a part of Old Hickory Lake. And so the neat thing about this place is there are walking trails all in here. There's restaurants, there's all kinds of stuff like located in this part of the town, and it's pretty nice. It's, you know, like you can see here, like all these homes here. I mean, you can't see the homes yet, but you can see the prices. But you can tell that in this area there's something for almost everybody. A lot of people have lived here in the past. George Jones has had a house out in this area. Pretty close to this picture here, what we're looking at here. Oak Ridge Boys, Singers, not too far away, probably across the lake there, and it's still in Hendersonville. Johnny Cash's house is not far away from here, but let's take a look at a few things here. Oh, and so if you are into boating or you like to be around a lake, there are parks all in this area. There's walking trails, like I've mentioned, but there's also boat ramps and things like that. So if you lived kind of anywhere in this little area, and this is Hendersonville, Tennessee, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that. So if you lived anywhere in this area here, you are just minutes from dropping your boat in the water or whatever, or camping. There's camping not far away from like this area, and this area right here is a little park, things like that. But look, you see that 725 or 770,000, and then you compare it to 350. There's all kinds of ranges of homes in this area. I would call this like a south part of Hendersonville. Across the lake is Old Hickory, and Old Hickory, Mount Juliet, and everything else on the Madison, kind of across the lake here. And I'll be honest with you, if you had to live here, the drive to get, in and out of here is about 15 minutes just to get to the 386. That's going to be your bypass to get to 65, which Interstate 65, will take you to downtown Nashville. If you worked in Nashville, that kind of thing. So I don't know if this is for you, but I've lived in Nashville all my life. So I've lived in Nashville all my life, and I've known people that and friends and things like that have lived in this area. And I've done a lot of work in these areas, and I know this part of town really well. Spent a lot of time, in this town. There are some pros and cons about this area over here that you need to know about, and maybe this doesn't fit you very well. Like just living in this area here, it's going to add, if you worked in downtown, but see, a lot of you guys might be working in Hendersonville or Gallatin or in this town already. So I wouldn't hesitate for 1 minute to find a home in this little part of town. And I've got one I'm going to show you here in just a second. So if you can look up there, you can see this is Gallatin Road coming through here. And so you could take Gallatin Road, or you could take the 386 to get out of this town. And so here's a house for $350,000. It's kind of, I'm concentrating on 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, but I also want to bring to your attention that this home is not 2-bath, but I'm going to show you how we can rectify that. Like, if you're thinking about buying a home, and let's say you qualified for $500,000, and you see this little thing right here come up, and you're thinking, man, I don't know, it doesn't have my 2-bath. But what about if there is space under that roof line right there? So we'll get into that in a minute, but here is the kitchen right here. So it's pretty spacious. It's open to the living room area. Also to the left of that, it's got a little space for a dining room table or a kitchen table. I like these little islands that are in a lot of these homes nowadays. They're pretty handy for extra cabinets and extra space for entertainment. And this house, if you look, see the lighting up there, the can lights in the kitchen shine right down if you're working in the kitchen, cleaning or cooking or whatever. So I find that pretty handy. We'll probably talk more about that, but windows, it's got good windows, I feel like. The flooring, we're going to discuss that flooring. I like it, but if you're thinking you want, now this flooring, I don't know the brand or whoever put this stuff in, so it's something you actually have to go and look at the house, schedule a visit to look at this house, a showing. But this floor, I can't tell if it's really like a laminate floor or hardwood. They make a lot of good floors nowadays. It's hard to tell exactly. You'd have to get in here and just make sure this would be something you like. What would be interesting to know, is this real hardwood or is it laminate? Planks are pretty wide, it looks like. I'm gonna say it's like a laminate style. There's nothing wrong with that. They last for a long time. It's just if you ever want to replace this floor like a hardwood floor, you can refinish it. So that's that's pretty nice feature about a true hardwood floor. These laminates, you're gonna have to take this stuff out. That's way later down the road. You ain't gotta think about it right now, but future costs. I mean, if you're thinking like, one thing I want to talk to you about before we get into other things. So this house is active and it is move-in ready, but if we're looking at this kitchen here and we notice the living room area, this house was probably built with a wall that divided up that living room and kitchen, just based on some things that I know about this town and these homes. Could have been built in the 60s or the 70s, I'm thinking. Maybe early 80s, I don't know, but I'm gonna look that up for you as well. But I'm sure it had a wall in the center that divides that living room area. And the reason why I'm thinking about that is here in just a second, I'm going to show you that floor over there. So like, you want to look at that floor, there's an vent that is angled at a funny direction, and when they put that air conditioning unit in after this house is constructed, see how open that is? There was probably a wall on the other side of that entry door over there for the garage. So like, it divided the living room area. That was pretty popular. What we want to know is when they redid this home and took out that wall, if they put the proper support structure, like an LBL, you know what that is, that goes and supports that wall, because that's probably where that wall used to be, was a what they call a load bearing wall. And you'll need to know, is this thing gonna hold up? We don't know how long it's been since they've done this house, but anyway, so this bathroom here, so this only has one bathroom, so this is, I'm gonna say, located in the hallway to the 3 bedrooms. So typically these 3-bedroom homes, all 3 bedrooms are on one side of the house. And I like that little niche right there. It's pretty nice. Put your shampoo and stuff like that up there, and it's not like you have to put it on the ledge or go buy anything to store your stuff on or whatever. But they did a good job with that tile niche there, kind of, and it's real nice and clean. I like the hardware, shower head, knobs, and all that stuff. Looks pretty good. But they, it's just, you feel a lot better in a home that's set up like this. It looks new on the inside for sure. I think on the outside took a good picture. It's got a, had a pretty big backyard or whatever too, or front yard. But here's the back part of the house, and where I was talking about adding the extra bathroom. Actually, what I would do is convert this little garage into a master suite if this was my house. So this thing has 1,100 square feet, so that's not including the garage because it's not controlled by heating and air. That's what I'm going to assume, how they figured out the square feet on this house. So, and this is a cottage style, so if you're ever interested in looking at other cottage style homes, this is pretty. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below on this house here. But what I'm thinking about is, if I was buying this house, so it's $350, let's say you could get a home for $450 or $500. That's your area of whatever, and you want to make a little budget to meet some contractors and like purchase this home, and then you get people in here. But you could have a master suite instead of that one little car garage. And then, I know you need a garage, or you might want a garage, but you could have a garage built. You know, this blacktop is all broken up here. I'm just thinking out loud. I would make a plan. It doesn't all have to happen at once either. You buy this house, you move in it right now, and have someone working on that room there. But something else, if you didn't want to get started on that room, is tearing out that driveway right there. It's a blacktop, it's old, it's crumbling, I'm sure. It's probably the negative about this house. And that patio. And we'll talk about that patio here in a minute. But, you know, I'm thinking just by the way this thing looks, it looks like you could do a lot. There's a lot of possibilities. If you wanted to fence in this backyard, if you want like an electric gate to come in and opens, and then you can close it on the left side of that house right there. So it's quite a bit to consider here. But I mean, what you're doing is quality of life. When you're thinking about quality of life to a cool house like this, what do you see when you come in? You know, nice clean driveway. What about a patio back here? A bigger patio, like a 20 by 20. Room for a fire pit, a bigger table, a few chairs, things like that. Like, I picture this home, the outdoors of this home sells me as much as the indoors. You know, like if you think people coming over, your friends, family, maybe you got a faith group of some kind, church or whatever you believe in. There's spaces here to make that work. You know, like, and something else. Let's take a quick look at this roof right here. It looks pretty good. I don't know when it's put in, but like the sellers of this home, looks like they did all this stuff. I don't know if they're flippers or what they are, but you could ask some questions about this roof here and all the things that they did, like warranties, things like that. There's also purchase warranties you can get on a home. You can ask when you put in your offer, you can ask them for a warranty for this house. And if you start asking for things that you want, like these people are ready to sell this thing. So yeah, that house it's really a pretty place. It's that walkway I was telling you about. We just need to rip all that out, put a new patio. If you got the money. Is that right? If you got the money. So yeah, house really takes good pictures though. I've gone over some things that, you know, I can see in these photos. You definitely want to get this thing looked at. I mean, inside and out. Yeah, attic, underneath. You want to get this thing inspected underneath the house. You want to check the AC units, have somebody come out, check those. Really cool looking kitchen there though. I really think that's pretty. I definitely wouldn't be ashamed to invite some friends over and enjoy this house for sure. Yeah, it's real pretty. I want to show you that vent. You see that vent? Remember the wall we were talking about earlier? Yeah, that vent back there, you saw how it's kind of stationed a little different. But here's the entryway. Could put a bigger porch on there as well. Could also put a little cover on there. Takes a real good picture though. Look how much space is. Looks like they put a plant in front of that stump. There's probably a stump in that little black area to our right there. Anyways, yeah, it looks good at night. A beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. If you want to see this house, or you got any comments about this house, something I didn't mention, why don't you put some comments down there at the bottom there, and I'd like your feedback. There's another house in this area, or maybe another area that you're interested in. So if you want to check out my next video right here, we'll be discussing other homes, other things, and advantages when purchasing a home in Nashville, and other things to be looking out for to save you money.